What's up, guys? We are jumping right into this one today, so no intros, no nothing. We're just going to be talking about some awesome mods for your C8 Corvette Z06, and actually some of these, if not all of them, can be used on the C8 as well, and they're small. They're small and cheap. Yeah, let's take a look at these mods for today. Before we get started though, guys, I just wanted to show the Z06 real quick. She is come out of storage for some dyno testing. That's why the carbon fiber isn't on there. Yeah, we were playing around with the Z06 a little bit, but the star of the show today is going to be the C8 Z06 because there's a bunch of little mods that some people aren't really focusing on. And we've done a lot of the big mods. Let's talk about the little, whoa. Well, that was a cardinal. Anyway, let's talk about the little mods for today, guys. These are ones that are small, cheap, yet very effective, very noticeable. Let's talk about them. There's Onyx. Yeah, hi Onyx. How are you doing? What do you think about the small mods on the car? Huh? You like it? You like the mods? Yes. You a good boy? Yes, you are. All right, so here's the first one. The first one of the day, guys, comes to us from our friends over at Paragon Performance. This is the Z button from a C8 Corvette. So obviously it's gonna go in my Z06, which has a bunch of red accents. So we're gonna pair that up with, of course, a red Z button. Now my interior on the Z06 here is black with red stitching. So it's gonna kind of feel right at home here. And it's gonna replace the one that doesn't feel super at home. So for those of you who don't know, black and red interior with a bunch of carbon fiber, and I got the stealth package too, which means there's not really any seriously bright aluminum. Now, this stuff around the wheel here is more like a polished chrome almost, whereas this is like a brushed stainless steel or something. It's not actually metal, but it doesn't really match anything is ultimately what I'm saying. Now this, however, it's gonna match pretty well with all the other red accents of the car. The red seat belts, my red channel logo, the red calipers. It's gonna look right at home, guys. But before we jump into that, I do also wanna mention AMT Custom Designs. Never mind the dirt of the car. We're about to wash it as we speak. But this is from AMT Custom Designs. They obviously put my channel logo right underneath the clear coat. We got the Z06 actual GM style Z06. So they are licensed to use the GM information. And we also got real carbon fiber. So this covers up the, again, silver door sills that don't really match anything else. So huge shout out to AMT. These are super easy to install. A couple pieces of double-sided tape that come included, and they install right over top of your old ones. They were nice enough to install these for me at Corvettes at Carlisle, so I didn't get to film anything with it, but huge shout out to AMT, making insanely awesome custom products. Yeah, you guys can get whatever you want on this door sill underneath the perfect clear coat. Just looks awesome. So as always, big thumbs up to AMT Custom Designs. Anyway, guys, back to the steering wheel and the Z button. This is pretty easy to install. So first we're gonna start with removing the airbag, but we're not completely removing it, so you don't have to unplug anything or anything like that. But it's up to you if you want to disconnect the battery. In my case, I'm not going to because I've done this kind of stuff before. But all we're gonna have to do is just come around the side here, and these little panels right here have to be popped out to reveal a screw that we can then unscrew to remove the airbag. So like I said, guys, we got to pop out this panel right there. You can use a trim tool like I have here to kind of force it in there and pop it out. Shouldn't take too much pressure. Just like that. And then that's it. So that's what the back of the plastic cover piece looks like. Now you have one on the other side as well. Now with that panel removed, we can take a 10mm socket and just remove the bolt. Again, you'll want to do this on both sides. Boy, I'll tell you, having two 10mm screws on each side of the steering wheel, or the airbag specifically, is way easier than it used to be in the older cars. You had to take a screwdriver and shove something up in there, and hopefully you hit the clip that was holding this in. It's a lot easier now with two 10mm bolts. But anyway, once those are out, you can just grab the airbag and pull it out. Just like so, you should be able to just pull it right off, and we don't have to disconnect anything. You can just kind of rest here on the steering wheel. Now we're going to focus on this Z button. So with the airbag resting on the bottom of the steering wheel, you can come in here and clearly see the Z button. Now, there's not really anything to get to. What we're going to do here is just pry this button out with a tiny screwdriver or a trim tool, and it should pop basically right out. We'll take a little screwdriver and just kind of wedge it in there and start prying this button back. Now, you want to be careful with this, obviously. You don't want to damage anything that's going to be visible. So this black plastic or this chrome piece running here, I already popped out one of the clips. As you can see, it's starting to come loose. So we can kind of use that as a pry point and start popping out the other clips. And there we go, guys. So what I did was I pried right here first. There's a clip there. Then there's a clip right here, so you'll pry from the inside here, and then ultimately there's a clip on the outside here that you're going to want to use a trim pry tool to get to so you don't scratch anything. But here it is removed. So like you can see, there's like a brushed finish to it, which is weird because there's really nothing else brushed in the car here. I mean, even the mode or the gear selector here is just kind of a chrome. So like I said, it doesn't really match anything, but the red will now match all the other red accents. So let's pop it in, and that's literally it. It literally just pops in. Here she is. I don't know why, but I'm super excited about this. I love adding color to things like this. Like you can see, basically a perfect match. So let's go ahead and pop it in here. So you'll want to pop probably the side in here first, like that, because that clip kind of sticks out a little bit, and then just push down. And yeah, guys, that's it. It's installed. So we can go ahead and put the airbag back in, and yeah, we are good to go. And there's the final product, guys. It looks freaking awesome. It definitely matches all of the other red accents in the car. And the best part is it functions like normal. That Z still lights up just like it did with the stock button in there. So again, guys, Paragon Performance, 35 bucks. Let's check out the next cheap, easy to do mod that makes a big impact on these cars. Is something that is pretty cool, and I'm going to show you here in 1 second. You can actually get it on Amazon, and it's pretty cheap. I'll leave the link down in the description below, of course, but looking at the black wheels, one thing that kind of sticks out, that it's not black. Well, it's about to be black. Let's make it happen. So black wheels, you either love them or you hate them. And if you're on the side of love them like I am, you're gonna want some of these. These are black TPMS nuts that are going to go on there and pretty much cover up all the silver. It doesn't really make sense to have a whole lot of silver showing through on a black wheel. I got the black lug nuts already, the black center caps, the black face of the wheel, the black barrel. Yeah, obviously that silver doesn't really make a lot of sense. So let's replace it. These are super easy to do. You don't have to dismount the wheel or anything. You can just take off the one that's on there now and put these on. Normally you can use a socket, but for me, I actually have a TPMS tool. This is plastic, so not to scratch anything, this is the way to go. So for me, I'm gonna go ahead and use this to remove it and use this to put on the new one so nothing gets scratched up. First step, we'll go ahead and remove the actual stem cap. Then if you're like me and you have the TPMS tool, you can just stick that on there and turn it. And just one turn like that and it's loose. So we'll go ahead and take the nut off now. And that's it. Now we're going to go ahead and replace this with a black one, but as you can see, nothing's leaking, no problems. We'll just go ahead, pop one of these guys on there, and it's going to look a lot better. And for comparison's sake, here they both are in my hands. That's the stock silver one and the aftermarket black one. There's really not a lot to this. One's black, one's silver. That's it. So let's go ahead and get these installed. You just opposite of removal, just screw them on there, tighten them down, and you're set to go. And I also have a TPMS or tire stem cap that covers up almost all of it. Very little bit showing through there. And if you were really worried about that, which I probably am to be honest with you, I'll take that nut back off and put a little piece of electrical tape around that center part. That way everything's blacked out. Now, you can actually get an entire kit to replace all this, but in order to replace the actual stem, you have to take the tire off, and I'm not going to do that for now. So until I do, this is the best we're going to get. Like I said, a little piece of electrical tape in between there, and everything is blacked out. And there we go, guys. A little sliver of electrical tape, and sure enough, it looks like an all black stem. Looking way better for only a couple bucks. I think all this stuff was less than 11 or 12 bucks. So again, check out that link in the description below.